Welcome back. This is Anime Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that now has a lifetime ban from Vatican City. So we have a different approach this week. Remy, do you want to talk about what we're about to watch?
Well, first, I just do want to say I love all religions equally. They're all equally valid.
Just leave it. Just leave it.
What? I'm being affirming. I don't. What's the problem? Okay. Why don't we talk about the one true religion, One Piece?
Yes.
I know it's still a futile subject with you because
I know what One Piece is. We just established that, I watched it as a kid, which, God, that makes me sound old. I know.
Yeah.
But it was on, Saturday morning cartoons. It's been on Toonami for ages. I've seen a comparatively insignificant portion of One Piece, but at least a full 26 episode season's worth. So
Okay,
I know that's not a
okay.
lot. I know it's not a lot, but I know what One Piece is. Come on, give me credit.
Okay. If you've only watched the first 24 episodes, that'll probably be this season of television, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a Netflix show.
Well, okay, so you wanted us to have kind of a fresh viewing on the show. I went and watched it beforehand, and I recognize pretty much everything in this trailer. Everything that they show here is something that I do remember happening on the show.
Well, let's go into it. We're gonna watch this teaser trailer, and let's discuss what you remember, what you don't remember, thoughts, opinions. Let's do it. Ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3, play.
So, I mean, already they're doing this, the classic trailer thing. It fades in with the saccharine piano music. He's talking about following his dreams.
It is immediately too earnest for anything One Piece related. I do appreciate that they validate the Luffy is Brazilian.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I get that.
I mean, that's just
fun.
canon. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Correct way to play.
You know,
I don't like how realistic this shit is, though. I mean, it really looks weird and bad.
Go. Sorry, they just did the little preview of Buggy the Clown.
Yes, you don't like that? You don't like that he's it?
You know, the costumes are not doing it for me from what I'm seeing here.
Well, okay, so everybody looks too clean, for one thing. I mean, Luffy is supposed to be, wearing basically disintegrating clothes.
Well, because he's a homeless orphan. Also a criminal. Let's not look past that.
Well, he's a pirate. Wow. Okay. I think Buggy was really the only story surprise thing I think they showed. Everything else was extremely generic stuff, which makes sense. It is just a teaser. It is just basically a costume and character reveal.
Yeah, I mean, it gave us a little look at what the style, the cinematography is going to be like, which honestly is not great from what I saw. They can't get past that, what do you call it? The soap opera look where everything looks very much or the new Hobbit movies.
It's too well lit.
It's too well lit. Everything is very obviously on a CG to hell soundstage. It looks too bright and too fake. And
They borrowed the boats from Master and Commander.
and they painted them pink, which, good for
paint-
them. But I can't, and people say this a lot, I can't think of a worse art style to have to adapt to live action.
What, than Oda's?
Yeah. It is Looney Tunes. It is. I don't say that in a bad way. I regret to say that for a long time I didn't like One Piece because I thought I didn't like the art. It didn't click with me. I've become a lot more open to cartoony. I know. I'm trying to apologize here. I'm trying to express character growth.
Yeah, you better.
I get it. I get what his style is trying to do with the exaggerated proportions and the ultra cartoony kind of noodle flow of things. I get it.
What do you get? That it's Bugs Bunny?
It's Bugs Bunny. It's literally anime Looney Tunes. And you just can't do that with live action without it looking supremely stupid. This is like one of those...
Hold on. You tell that to Robin Williams, okay? Tell that to Shelley Duvall. Tell that to who played Bluto in the Popeye movie? Was it John Goodman? Could it possibly have been John Goodman?
Oh, I don't know. I got to look that up. I've never seen the live action Popeye movie.
You should watch that. That's an anime. That's a live action anime adaptation that we should definitely put on the list.
Paul L. Smith. I'm unfamiliar with it. Oh my God. Okay. Paul L. Smith was the guy that played the other Harkonnen nephew alongside Sting in Dune, in the better Dune.
Speaking of translating a cartoon, I don't know. Yes, they are. I think obviously they're fucked from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my stance about these adaptations is they should just do their own thing as much as possible and say fuck you to the source material. That is the only way to get through this shit. I know people think that sounds like demeaning, like they shouldn't care about the source material, but it's like everybody who's like, I'm a huge fan, I'm gonna be faithful to the source material, I'm gonna make all the fans happy. Every time they say some shit like that, it sucks. Like almost every time. You don't want fans making your stuff, you guys.
Oh, absolutely
I promise
not.
you.
If you let fans make your stuff, they're gonna end up like fanning all over it. For lack of a better term. They are trying to recreate their idealized version of why they like the show and not actually adapting it into a new format with intent.
Not to use the most obvious example, but like R.I.P. to that Watchmen movie, man.
Oh, boy.
You do not want fans making your
adaptations,
you guys.
Of fans to get your work wrong, Zack Snyder was the absolute worst person to get that result with, right? Out of all the fans to misinterpret your writing, Zack Snyder was one of them.
He is, I believe, the king of missing the point. He's so good at it. Like multiple gold medalists.
Well, I mean, we should have known from the start because his first movie, the remake of Dawn of the Dead, was, isn't capitalism like kind of fucked up? To isn't like a mall kind of a cool place to hang out in during the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah. Doesn't that actually look kind of fun?
Yeah. Like, they he saw the bikers, hitting the zombies in the face with pies. Some of the more I would say tongue-in-cheek jokes from the original Dawn of the Dead, and was just like, oh, that's actually cool and awesome and legal. I'm gonna do that.
I'm just gonna do that. That's cool. People really liked that movie, though. I don't remember liking it very much, but people really liked it.
Yeah, it kind of kicked off that like zombie wave that we've kind of been writing for the last 15 years.
Yeah, people were really into it, and specifically Zack Snyder's version of it, which makes me very sad. But I think that's his most successful adaptation. I guess I agree with the other people in that, like, he didn't really give a fuck what, like, Dawn of the Dead was doing. Like, not on any kind of fundamental level.
Actually, no, I gotta interject there. I think 300 is his most faithful adaptation, only because Zack Snyder and Frank Miller are already on the same page, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yes, that is his most successful adaptation because that is a work that just stylistically and ideologically meshes into his own work so thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really bored for each other. But, like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime coincidence that you have, like, two people who can like dialogue with each other's work in that way. Two people with the same mental illness in exactly the same mental illness wavelength that they're at.
Well, it's like the evil Negaverse version of Sam Raimi and Bruce, right?
Yeah.
I think that they mesh in very much the same way, just in a polar opposite way than Zach and Frank.
Yes, they click together in a certainly more menacing way. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anybody on Earth who can do that with Oda's work, so I think option 2 is still really your best bet when it comes to One Piece. Like, take it as weird and fucked up as you want without any consideration for the comic.
Okay, hold on.
Forget about the comic.
Hear me out. I just had an idea.
Yeah.
Henry Selick and Leica Studios doing a stop motion, like, doll adaptation of One Piece.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's so many dream versions of this project you can imagine. Like, I always, I keep saying over and over again, I want Ghibli to do the Berserk movies.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Great idea. Love that.
In the Nausicaa style, I think would like work really well.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that like Pop Team Epic does really well, right? In that they do that kind of play around with formats and mediums and styles like that constantly. There's an incredible needle felt recurring bit, needle felt animation on Pop Team Epic, which is just so fucking killer. It just kicks ass so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch Pop Team Epic. It's fucking amazing. But like, yeah, a claymation I think would work really well. I think honestly they should just do that as an episode of the show.
Sure.
Do 24 minutes and just put it out as a claymated version.
I would love that.
Like, get playful with it.
I do like a Gumby claymation. Like, get real interpretive with what they can do.
Sure. What if the Netflix series was just that, like an interpretation of the first arc in different art styles, like the Star Wars Vision stuff?
Once again, Star Wars is taking up resources better used elsewhere.
Oh, God. I think a One Piece anthology like that would have been absolutely, like, 100% a slam dunk. It would have been a slam dunk. Everyone would have loved your shit.
Yeah, or like a what was that other show, Death, Love, and Robots?
Yes.
Yeah.
The anthology stuff.
Yeah,
though that was more like like Steam filmmaker shit and Unity Works for the most part. A lot of it ended up being like rotoscoping, which isn't my favorite. I don't hate it, but isn't my favorite, you know.
It has its charm sometimes.
Yeah, it has its charms. I'm not super against it. I really like A Scanner Darkly. I think that shit kicks ass. Really, really good.
Oh,
rotoscoping looks great in that movie.
That Keanu.
Is he in A Scanner Darkly? I remember.
He's the main guy in A Scanner Darkly.
He's the main guy? I only remember Robert Downey Jr. because I thought his performance was really, really great.
Yeah, at one point, Keanu Reeves just became the guy to adapt William Gibson stories.
Has he done more than Ben Affleck? I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with what Benny's been in.
Benny's just done another one recently. I don't know if it's a real Gibson or a knockoff Gibson or what, but it has exactly the same vibe as Paycheck.
Was Paycheck a Gibson? Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah. That's We Can Remember It For You. That turned into the Schwarzenegger one.
Oh, Total Recall.
Yes.
I love that. Love that movie.
Might be mixing some of those stories up, but it's in the general area of truth. Just take my word for it. Yeah, I mean, hey, even that style would be great. What if they had a rotoscoped version of One Piece on Netflix? That would be cool. Literally anything
other than what they have presented to us right now.
I guess that's what we're saying. Literally any other thing than this, than the thing we just watched, because it looks stupid as hell. The costumes look bad. Everything looks too realistic. The casting choices, I guess, are fine. I don't think that's the problem.
I don't know. I don't know what
I don't like Luffy saying weird, like mumblecore jokes. Not interested in that.
Yeah, I'm not into the, what, 2010s quippy style humor that you see so much these days.
That is not Luffy at all. That is not Luffy at all. Not even close. Not even the same arena. It's like, what are you doing, man?
It's been a while, but his whole thing is that he's kind of an airhead, right?
Sort of. He is, to sound as pretentious as possible, he is a traditional Bacchanalian.
He just does what he wants.
He lives purely to satisfy his immediate desires. That's who he is.
Okay, so he
only
Kirby.
has one long-term goal. He is Kirby. I mean, there are sequences where he is Kirby, yes. He literally sucks up a bunch of stuff and turns into a big round balloon guy. That happens multiple times. Multiple times in Arc, even. So you're not far off there. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's really weird. It's a weird thing that this exists. And I know it's wholly because people at Netflix know that anime is becoming this dominant force, and they don't only see things in terms of dollar signs. So when they look out into the field of anime, they just see these stacked bar graphs of like money coming in and money going out, and they see One Piece off in the distance like Mount Sauron. And they're like, okay, we got to do this shit. It's One Piece time, baby. We're making live adaptations.
Now I wonder how Oda feels about this, because his name was up there, big letters.
They said he was involved and he was like approving shit, so I don't know. I always take that with a grain of salt.
Well,
what if he just says no? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, shut down the production?
What I'm interested to know is when this deal was signed and whether or not that was before or after the Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop came out. I wonder how an Oda felt when the reaction came out to that one.
Who knows? I'm certain he wouldn't tell the truth about it in public. Let's maybe in a few years, but not now. Not that the guy is in just like legend status, can do whatever he wants, but
he has too much to lose at this point.
He's turning the boat right now towards the ending. He's gotta play his cards just right as he bows out of this behemoth. It makes me sad thinking like this is gonna be the big American One Piece release.
Well, it's actually like, take solace in the fact that it's not going to be any better or any worse than the other American like major shonen releases. Like after this, we're just waiting on Naruto, basically, right?
Naruto. Oh, they'll probably do a Naruto at some point. There have to be, right?
Oh, there's gotta be an American Naruto adaptation in the works somewhere. I'm thinking Apple
somewhere.
TV Plus.
Well, there is a live-action Saint Seiya coming. I think that
Tim
might
Apple,
be a movie.
hit me up. I got ideas.
Hey, you want really bad live-action adaptations? I have got you covered, my man. What do you want? I'll make it suck so bad.
Timmy. I got a book full of these things. We should talk.
Oh my God, let me talk to you about Initial D for a second.
Oh no.
Okay.
First of all, there's already an American adaptation of Initial D, and it's called Fast and the Furious.
Well, Tokyo Drift, as close as we're gonna get probably to a live-action American adaptation. Tell you what. Why don't we, to close this out, let's watch the Metalocalypse trailer as well.
Yeah, you were talking about wanting to watch that. See, I have been kind of apathetic.
That sucks. I don't care. I want to watch this trailer.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up.
Death Clock fucking rules. They're still one of my favorite metal bands, like, unironically. They fucking...
Oh, unironically.
Unironically. I love Death Clock. Metalocalypse trailer. Let's do this. This is the one to really get excited about.
Army of Doomstar.
Hell yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is all stuff I'd expect to see.
It's all good shit so far.
We got the band playing. We got some metal shit.
I'm very excited first of all, to get new Deathclock songs. That's very cool.
Sure. Always the best part.
Yes. And I know the Doomstar Requiem stuff has been, like, coming for a very, very long time. I can't believe that this is actually happening, because it was like a rumor for years and years.
Well, Metalocalypse got caught up in that merger, right? Initially, it was going to get another season on Adult Swim, and then it got canned again for like the 5th or 6th time.
Yeah, they killed the show a lot. I think when you were talking about noticing a change in the show, I think that was one of the handovers, when Brendan Small was mostly just writing the songs and touring with Mastodon.
Talk about a dream job.
Writing cartoons and touring.
I know.
With
Well, it's crazy that the guy that did home movies all the way back when we were like 11 on Adult Swim is fucking touring with Mastodon, writing a multi-season epic about death metal.
I mean, that's dope as hell.
It's great. It's one hell of a career arc. Yeah, I'm into that. I like Metalocalypse just fine. I definitely want to see where they end the series, because I'm assuming that this is meant to be kind of like the end cap for everything, right?
Do you think the band will die? They'll finally be sacrificed to the Elder Gods or whatever the fuck's happening?
Yeah, I could see it either it just happening as a course of the prophecy, or doing like a one-off gag where they stop the prophecy and then they all die in a stupid way anyway, right at the end.
Well, either way, I'm excited just to have new Deathclock songs, to be honest. Even if the movie sucks, I'm glad to have more songs out, because I listened to those first 2 albums, like, still quite a lot. They fucking rule. Deathclock fucking kicks ass.
All right, you want to take a break, and when we come back, we can talk about something else?
I'm going to listen to Deathclock for a little bit, get back in the mood here.
Go clear your mind. Get in the zone.
Okay. Mermaider. All right. Speaking of adaptations, Netflix obviously notorious for them at this point because of the Death Note one in particular. But you just watched...
Well, I still haven't brought myself to watch any of the other Netflix adaptations, because there's still, like you said, the Death Note one and the Cowboy Bebop one, both notoriously bad, not well received.
Yes, the Death Note one, at least brief, mercifully brief.
That was just a movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, it was longer than 90 minutes, so, that's still probably a little too long than it needed.
Every movie that's over 90 minutes is too long. So anyway, you bucked my commands, and instead of watching the Death Note movie, you watched the live-action Kaguya-sama movie?
Yeah, so that was kind of it was a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing, because I've been rereading... Or not rereading, I've been reading the manga for Kaguya Love is War. I've seen the anime. Last episode I talked about the movie.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I love the anime, really liked it, wanted to catch up on the manga.
We have talked about Kaguya-sama like more than probably any other manga.
It's great. If you haven't read it, you guys should read it.
I never would have guessed that at all before we started this. But okay, go ahead. Clearly we really love Kaguya-sama.
I do. I love Kaguya-sama.
I think it's really great. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, and so we've been talking about the live action stuff a little bit. We talked about it earlier. We talked about last episode, and I just kind of saw this, and I remember because I flew to Portugal a few months ago, and the live action adaptation was one of the films available as an in-flight movie.
That's really funny.
And I regret not watching it on the plane. So I decided...
It would have been a good plane watch. I watched the movie Filth on a plane, and if I had not watched it on a plane, I probably would have not taken anything from that movie. But because I watched it on a plane, I was like, this is fucking great. I realized halfway through, not the best movie to be watching on a plane, but I still really enjoyed it. And it had a very intense emotional impact on me that I ascribe 100% to being off the ground.
To be fair, I elected to read all of Berserk on that plane ride instead of watching the Kaguya movie, so I think I made the right choice in that particular moment.
Well, it's hard to argue with that.
So anyway, I've been reading the manga. I had that memory of not watching it on the plane, and so I decided to give it a shot. And it is not great. And so I just wanted to say that, dear listener, you can rest assured that it's not just Netflix or Hollywood that's bad at adapting anime. In fact, Japan is also bad at adapting anime into live action.
They're very bad. You know, funny that you say that, because one of the recent mini arcs on Oshinoko that they finally got through was the bad anime adaptation arc, which I thought was very funny. One of the characters ends up on a shoot for like a shoujo manga that like no one's putting any effort into, and it makes the mangaka cry. That's intense to get into in your own manga about the entertainment industry, but yeah, it happens, and sometimes the manga author remarks on it, and those remarks are always heartbreaking.
Well, you know, I've been reading as I've been reading the manga chapters, they've been kind of chronicling the success of the manga, and then into the anime adaptation, and then into the we're getting a live action movie. And yes. I did notice that after the hype for the live action movie, they did not make mention of it again so far in the little author blurbs at the end of the chapters.
Don't worry. When it comes out on Blu-ray, they'll get to it.
But I'm trying to figure out why nobody seems to be able to get this right. Because the two flavors of adaptation, the two genders of adaptation that I've encountered are either leaning hard in on trying to recreate the visual aesthetic of the drawn or animated style, or going hard the other direction and trying to do an ultra gritty, realistic reimagining of what those look like. You know,
sure, they're similar to the
neither has had a lot of success.
You know, that's what we were talking about before, right? There's like two ways. You do it incredibly earnestly, or you do your own thing. Those are really the only two ways. When you talk about those like gritty, realistic ones, those definitely feel like somebody decided to do it their own way, except their own way happened to be like a series of flowcharts that are like 6 years out of date.
Well, okay, have you seen the Death Note live action?
Yes, I have.
Okay, where does that fall
on
the spectrum
of live action adaptations that I've seen?
Well, of those two styles, does it try and go super cartoony? Because I've seen like still shots and clips of what's the death god's name? Ryuk, yeah.
Ryuk.
And you know, I know they did some heavy adapting on what Light and L look like, chiefly being 20-somethings from Seattle as opposed to Japanese teenagers.
It is very strange. That one tries to split the difference by having Ryuk in a very cartoony, weird, monstery style, but having everything else be pretty much like... It has a very, very lightweight version of a Pushing Daisies, or even maybe like a little tiny sprinkle of Tim Burton tossed on top of a very standard like high school, American high school show. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a weird aesthetic. So it definitely does our second camp, where it leans away very hard from its source material. because it tries to play. I would say here's the incredible, almost La Croix spirit water flavor aesthetic they try to inject into the Death Note movie is like a very kind of, ooh, what if this was like a fairy tale, you know? They sprinkle a little bit on top of it.
Sure.
Just to kind of, I guess, lampshade the fact that like a fucking book falls from heaven and a guy uses it to like shoot up his school. Like, they just needed something on top of that, you know?
Hey, filmmakers, stop doing magical realism. You're not in art school anymore.
Wow, this is the return guy on this podcast. Actually, realism is the only true artistic form. What do you mean realism's its own genre? Back in your cage. It's weird. It's a fucking weird movie, and I looked up our list, and you know what? There's only maybe Dragon Ball and Avatar as worse fucking adaptations that I can think of. I think every other anime adaptation is better than that Death Note.
Wow. Okay, big words.
Headshot.
I think I fundamentally agree with that, you know. The Avatar remake is notoriously
How could you do?
bad.
You haven't fucking watched it. No, you have not seen it yet. You cannot categorically agree with me. You need to watch it and then tell me what's wrong with it.
Okay, fine.
I'm not
going to do it.
Get out of it like
I don't
that.
even like Death Note.
You are going to do it. You are going to do it. You are going to watch a bunch of these live action adaptations, and I'm going to force you to do it.
Is that what this show is now?
That's what it's going to be soon.
Right.
So get ready for that.
Okay, well, we watched the order to watch the Ghost in the Shell one.
Yeah, we've ticked off a couple of them. You watched most of this Kaguya one, so we'll take that off the list.
Okay, hold on, because we both went and watched Ghost in the Shell in the movie theater, and it was
Way to brag about it.
Oh, it's not a brag, sir. I am
Stop bragging.
I am airing my trauma.
This dude cannot stop bragging about going to the movie theater.
Back when I was brave enough to go to a movie theater.
Yeah, the good old days.
I know. Although, man, that Spider-Verse is really tempting me. I think my plan is to go do a double feature of that and Barbie if they're in theaters at the same time.
They will be. Don't worry, they will be.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick.
Okay.
Is the Ghost in the Shell movie worse than Death Note?
No.
No?
Immediate no.
Okay, why?
No, it's not. Because stuff happens in Ghost in the Shell that is like fun to watch. Like kicks and punches.
Oh, okay. It did have some action. It did have some pretty egregious changes.
Oh, it had awful shit. Look, this is not a defending Ghost in the Shell movie. I'm just saying there were cool kicks and punches, and I could look at the cool kicks and punches. Couldn't do that in Death Note. Couldn't do that. There are no cool kicks and punches in Death Note. Maybe some kicks and punches, but not cool ones.
Okay, but Death Note has Willem Dafoe. That's got to count for something.
That is great. That is truly great. Yes, that does count for something. For how much, you're going to have to tell me, because honestly, it's mostly just a big CGI puppet.
Okay. All right. I will go watch the Death Note movie, and I'll get back to you. I'm not going to like it.
You won't like it. I can promise you that. But it will be a part of a sequence. So there is a whole sequence of these. Okay, I'm just getting out in front of it.
Okay, all right.
You're going to be watching that you're going to be watching at least Death Note, Alita, and Edge of Tomorrow. You're going to at least be watching those.
Okay, well, I want to stop talking about live action adaptations, because the longer we stay on this subject, the closer we stray to the subject of Speed Racer, and I really do value you as a co-host and as a friend. I don't want to have that discussion. So why don't we take a break?
I will have that discussion anytime. But if you're too scared to broach it, that's fine.
I am absolutely afraid of that conversation.
You should be.
You get so violent.
You are like an inch away from getting like 17 more live action adaptations added to this list, okay?
Okay.
So don't test me.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Your voice is so loud, even with that sound isn't where I thought belong. I know that I feel hollow without you by my side, and I know that makes me sad when I think of it online. It's like you've got me under glass when you know what I'm thinking about. It's like you've got me under glass.
Oh boy. Okay. Wow. Welcome back. So, Remy, this may surprise you, but I actually have been. I read some anime.
Finally, somebody fucking watched some anime, because, like, I have been playing Zelda so much. It's actually really taking over my life in a bad way. I've got to finish this fucking game.
You're down bad with that Zelda fever.
God damn, it's so good. I honestly was like, wow, this game's been out for, like, a couple weeks now, I think. I bet I've played like 50 or 60 hours of this game already. And somebody else was like, hey, I'm almost at 100 hours. How long have you played? I'm like, God, probably like 60, 70 hours. And they're like, go check. And I checked, and I was at 135.
And what are you at now?
135 hours. I don't know. I'm not going to look again. I'm not going to look again.
Oh,
it's too scary.
You love that Hyrule.
God damn, if it's not one of the best games ever made. Oh my God.
Well, I have not been playing any anime like that, unfortunately. I am but a lowly pauper that can't afford a new Nintendo game every time the Golden Goose lays one, okay?
What am I made out of Nintendo games? Come on.
No, I actually happened upon a weird little story called Inside Mari, and at first
kind of dismissive way to talk about it. I found this quirky little dashed off story, little napkin writing.
Well, honestly, it does kind of have like a sketchy style to it. I like it. It's got a very loose look. Kind of light pencil work.
But at least call it a graphic novel.
Oh. No, I'll call it an anime, and that's what it is.
Okay, fine. You read Inside Mari. You want to give us
I've read about
summary?
12, 13 chapters of it so far, so still pretty in the beginning. I think there's quite a bit more. I'm not exactly sure how many, but...
Yeah, give us the setup.
So it starts off as your basic isekai. And you know how we feel about isekai on this show. It's like a loser dude who's going nowhere in life, just plays games all day and lives in a trash-filled apartment, doesn't take care of himself,
doesn't do shit.
Yeah, doesn't do shit, just eats convenience store food.
Has no personality except for regrets.
Yep. And on his way to the convenience store to buy his trash food that he loves to eat, he reveals that he has a crush on the cute high schooler who works there part-time, Mari. And
whomst among us, really.
it does your very bog standard isekai setup. So he goes there and he notices that she is crossing the street and is about to be hit by a car.
Uh-oh.
And so he jumps out to try and save her.
Oh, no.
Cut to headlights. And next chapter, he has now woken up inside of Mari's body, inside her bedroom.
Damn, that's fucking crazy, dog. He got knocked into her?
Yeah. So, obviously, this is nothing special, I wouldn't say, in the world of these drawn animes, as I call them.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Take that one out. No, cut it. So it seems like it's gonna be your basic like titty gender swap kind of setup. I'm in a girl's body now. I gotta go into the girl's bathroom. I gotta go take a bath. I'm
forced to go through her underwear drawer.
Yeah. What do I say to all of her girlfriends? How do I act like a girl?
Oh no.
And it does carry on like that for maybe the first five, 6 chapters. And then it hit me with a like actual genuine splash of interesting writing. Because obviously this guy is trying to not only figure out why he woke up in this teenager's body. He wants to figure out what happened to him. And so logically he goes to all the spots that his old body him used to go to. And he's like, well, okay, so he's assuming at this point, like, okay, well, maybe we switched bodies. I've got to go find Mari, who is presumably in my body.
Well, funny you say that, but
yeah.
Keep going.
Well, eventually he finds him. He finds himself. And it turns out that they have not switched bodies. Not only is he in Mari's body, but he's also himself as a separate person.
Oh, fuck. He got brain copied.
Yeah.
So he copy and pasted over his sister's consciousness. That's what you're saying.
Well, they are not sisters.
Not sisters. Sorry, excuse me.
No, this is.
I slipped into the regular.
Again, I should
anime.
reiterate. This is the teenager, the adult man developed a crush on.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, I thought that was genuinely an interesting twist on the whole setup. From there, I've just kind of gotten into what I think the flow of the comic is going to be, where he has met Mari's best friend, who instantly recognizes that she is not herself, and is like all kind of revealing herself to be like an obsessive stalker to Mari, and is like threatening to kill this person if he doesn't find a way to switch back bodies with her.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, I like that wrinkle. That's a fun one.
Yeah. So it's interesting. That's like all in the first 12 chapters. That's where I'm at.
Great.
But I know that there is a lot of the gender swap setup out there, and probably not all of it is as interesting as that particular little twist there.
Well, there's plenty of exploitation stuff. Obviously, I talked about that trash rom-com about the alien.
Yeah.
That does basically a reverse Hirosai Yatsura and like forcefully gender swaps the first boy he sees. It declares him as his wife.
Hey, you're my wife now.
Yeah, it literally is. Hey, you're my wife now.
Yeah, my wife.
And he's like, no, what are you talking about?
Remember Borat?
My wife?
My wife. Hey.
My wife. Hey, you're the guy with the wife. You got to be careful. You don't want to start that back up again now that you actually are married.
Oh God, I didn't even think of the ramifications.
There is a long tradition of the gender swap exploitation. But there are good ones too. I think I'm really excited to read this one. I thought it was there wouldn't be any kind of murdering going on, but that doesn't decrease my interest. That sounds great.
Well, it's unclear if this stalker best friend is like genuinely like the killer stalker kind of friend, because you mentioned that other manga about the girl who has like a best friend that's like homicidally obsessed with her, right?
Yes, Seism.
Yeah.
Though it has different titles, but I loved Seism. Seism's so fucking good.
Or if she is just reacting in an exaggerated manner to finding out that a loser is inhabiting her best friend's body.
It would be shocking. I have to say, I'm not sure how I would personally react.
I mean, I think that we're not, as an audience, we're not supposed to be able to know at this point, because Mari isn't around as a character that can provide information about herself, right?
Well, you are a person in the world who can use their imagination. Like, would you threaten to kill the person if you realized somebody had swapped into I don't know, your wife's body, would you immediately start threatening to kill them?
No.
You have to think about that. No, you wouldn't. You'd be chill about it. Do you think you're good enough to notice?
Yeah. No, I think I definitely would be.
Are you an observant enough person? You'd figure it out?
I think once you spend at least more than a decade around a person, you get a feel for stuff like that. But also, we haven't figured out a way to body swap people yet, so it's really a moot point, wouldn't you say?
Okay, well, actually, there is a body swapping method, and this is the one I wanted to tell you about before that I thought you said. The mentioning that was funny to me because a long time ago, I read a body swap drama that actually it was honestly like 50-50 coin flip type shit, whether I was going to read Inside Mari or Mayonaka no XG10.
Okay.
G10. Because they were both similarly premised body swap mangas, but I went with Mayonaka because
a path diverges in the woods, right?
And then what?
It's funny that you chose this, and then I ended up reading the other one that you were gonna read.
Oh, parallelism.
Yes.
I think it does prove something about destiny and fate, for sure. These two monumentous occasions meeting in this way. Mayonaka was more intriguing to me because it was a little more upfront about the mystery side to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like and this is why I said sister. There's a brother-sister pair, and in this, single father, I think the mother died tragically at some point, and the boy is dealing with it really poorly. Like, he's becoming like a piece of shit shut-in kind of guy.
Sure, as you do.
He's becoming very depressed and like acting out, and especially against his sister, who he thinks has it really easy. Because if she seems like she's not being impacted by it at all, like she's having from his perspective, her life seems really nice.
Sure.
And one day, as you do, you come across a really creepy flyer that has like paranormal implications. Everybody, this happens to everybody at some point. We all go along with it, just like he does. It turns out there is a midnight body swapping game that you can play anonymously online. You get a deck of cards or something, and when you put the card on top of your head, I can't remember, and go to sleep, when you wake up, you will be in a different person's body for the day. Not like permanent. Just this is like a tourist.
Sure.
A hit and quit it.
I mean, hell, dude. If that is all it takes, that I'd give that a try.
Oh, I'd give it a try immediately. I'd love to do that shit. I'd get a little tourist action in there. This is when people talk about the communist utopia. This is exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, everybody, listen up. The communist utopia comes with body swapping technology.
Hey, read Ian M. Banks. Go out there, figure that shit out. Anyway, so he gives it a shot because he's like, well, I hope I can turn into my sister and like have a good time for once in my fucking dreadful life.
Jesus.
He's not in a good space. So he tries to turn into his sister, turns into someone completely random. He did not know this was going to happen. I guess he really did think he was going to get into his sister somehow. He has a weird time. Being this girl is weird. He has a couple of moments where he does like, oh, I learned a little bit about being a girl, how it's like. Maybe it's harder than I thought. I should really reconsider
getting catcalled, putting on makeup, all of these very well thought out criticisms of the gender dynamic.
Yes, all the usual suspects, and then he comes back. And he's like, wow, I had a really enlightening experience. I'm like really refreshed on life. Maybe I should talk to my sister about like some of these like unfair grudges I've been holding against her. And maybe like try to find the root issues of my problems. And he walks into his sister's room and she's fucking dead.
Ah.
She's dead, bro.
Whoa.
She's fucking dead. And he's covered in blood.
Oh, God.
He's the one that killed her.
Oh, no.
God, it's so fucked. That's so fucked. And of course, what does he think immediately, right? oh, I let some stranger into my body and they murdered my sister.
Wait, hold up. Is this Total Recall? This is basically Total Recall.
Well, Total Recall is about imprinting personalities on top of each other, not actually physically swapping bodies.
Oh, man, there's got to be like an early 2000s Tom Cruise movie about this exact thing.
If there is, I would love to watch it. Somebody let me know if this is already like an 80s action movie, because I'm so in. I mean, there is the...
Memento.
What's the other Schwarzenegger one? Where he finds out he's a clone and there's like a bunch of clones of him.
Oh, The Sixth Day.
Yeah, I love that movie. Oh my God.
I haven't actually seen that one.
Oh, you should watch that one. It's great.
Yeah?
It's really, really great.
Okay.
Yeah, he pretends to be an American dude and doesn't give a fuck about the accent, so there's a lot of great accent play going on. Anyway. The mystery begins, right? Because he's like, I need to find out who was in my body and killed my sister so I can presumably get revenge. And then we unfold from there.
Seems like a popular setup these days, because that's kind of similar to what we talked about, Oshinoko, where it's I gotta figure out who killed my mom.
Well, I mean, that's these days. Murder mysteries has been the standard go-to since our middle 1800s for novels.
Oh man, I would love a anime adaptation of like some Agatha Christie novels.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have some, if you want to jump track from these rom-coms to like detective stories for a while, I have a whole stack of them for you. There's some good ones.
You got an answer for everything.
I would say, honestly, if you want that fucking flavor, like the, Miss Marple, Agatha Christie, Columbo kind of style of like murder mysteries of the week, like you should get on Kendaichi Files. Like the Young Kendaichi Files is all of that shit, and they're really good. They're good mysteries.
I mean, I could just play those Professor Layton games.
They're more puzzle games with light anime dusting than a real mystery.
I could just watch that Professor Layton anime.
I guess you could. I still think Kendaichi Files is worth getting a shot. Obviously, there's Case Closed. There's lots of. You can even argue that a lot of Blackjack is down to like mysteries or murder adjacent mysteries.
Well, I mean, I do love that 90s Blackjack. That was some dope shit.
Oh, Blackjack rules. I've been thinking about it a lot recently, actually. But so the mystery aspect of this is
Dude loves medicine.
And he loves medicine, man.
He really loves medicine.
That guy I've never noticed it about Blackjack before, but have you noticed, like, he fucking loves medicine? He's, like, constantly eating it. So he's got to solve these mysteries, and we discover certain manga ridiculousness creeps in on the edges. We've revealed that you have actually access to special powers when you are inside someone else's body. For example, that comes into play. Yeah.
That's I'm not sure how I feel about that. If I was like a character living in that universe, you can only have special powers when you're in somebody else's body.
Yes, everyone it is discussed at some point in the manga, and this is a very short run, so you absolutely should go out and find it and burn through it. But everybody has a latent special ability, but they do not have access to it themselves. Their meat puppet has to be remotely activated for the power to come into play. That's how the rules of this universe work.
Wow.
Yep. So things get pretty weird. In good ways, but also it does manage to balance that kind of like I am a boy discovering femininity for the first time kind of like fun of it without being too exploitation-y about it. Sometimes it does, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it goes there, but it's fucking good. It's a good ass time, and it is like gender swap done at least entertainingly, if not well.
Well, I mean, I think Your Name kind of set the bar for doing it tastefully and in a classful manner.
What a tasteful gender swap.
Top quality gender swap, sir.
Yeah, so that's fun. There's other gender swap stuff too. It would be fun if we went over some other ones. I mean, obviously, if you've been keeping up with Tengoku Daimakyo, pretty pretty big one there with pretty impactful.
I have not been keeping up with Tengoku Daimakyo.
Because you're a fool. You're a fool. Tengoku Daimakyo is some of the best shit that's happening right now.
Yeah, I've got a lot on my plate.
The best shit. Yeah. Well, you haven't even started these movies.
Hey, you don't know what it's like to spend a Freaky Friday in my shoes.
Someday, I hope we have the technology. I'll be holding my breath. Once you start the movies, I will let you off the hook for whatever. Until then, I'm gonna stay on your chest about this shit.
Okay, like a monkey on my back.
Yes, I will monkey back you. I'll monkey back you, dog.
All right, monkey. Have you had enough for this episode?
Yeah, I again, like I said, I've been hard at work on Zelda, just cracking away at it. So I'm embarrassed to say I haven't watched very much anime.
For once in the show's existence, your anime consumption is on par with mine.
It's mostly stalled, though I still have a million different things I could talk about it, but they're all old things now, and they're kind of stale. I could reheat one of them if we need to. I've got some wacky ass shit. Always have some wacky ass shit in the back catalog we could talk about. We still haven't talked about Giri Giri out, which I'm really excited to get to at some point.
Well, until next time, dear listener, it's been great spending time with you. I really love these conversations.
We will talk about some weird shit next time, I guess. Maybe we'll get to Giri Giri out. Who knows? It's up to fate and our intertwined destiny to decide. We'll find out together, you and I, beloved, handsome, and beautiful listener, in the next episode of Anime Death Spiral. Bye.
Bye.
And I'm going to turn my voice off so I don't annoy myself. Okay.